And people call in and they would list the 10 songs and they would just tell them whether they're right or not, but not which ones they missed.
All right, so I have that here for the 10 songs we're going to talk about. See if you can name them.
Fail. Those weren't even a second long each. It was like a half second
each. Here, one more time. Welcome back to another episode of 1980s Now, a weekly examination of the importance of 1980s pop culture and also its influence today. Hey, my name's Will, and joining me as always are my friends, and they're also my co-hosts, and their names are Kat and John. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi. Good.
Hey, howdy.
In addition to his co-hosting duties here, John also hosts his own podcast, Gen X Grown Up, provided it's above water come next week. Go check that one out as well.
We're publishing Hell or High Water, no matter if the storm comes. Thanks.
Hey, on today's show, we're going to chat about the best songs from 1980s movies as determined by the Billboard Hot 100.
Okay.
And more than that, really, we're going to talk about some interesting facts about those songs and the context in which they were written in the 1980s and that sort of thing. It's probably going to be a lot more interesting than it sounds like, I think, maybe.
It would have to be.
I'm not the best judge. It would have to be. I don't know if it'd have to be, John. Now it sounds like a lot of pressure. Oh, shit. Now I realize I did that thing where I didn't make up things before I...
Oh,
here we go.
Okay,
we don't have any.
But before we do that,
live improv
review
tease
current news stories related to 1980s media, including. I got nothing for this floating Max thing. All right, skip that one.
Yes, and
I feel like 3 weeks in a row we had stories with characters with masks. So maybe this is the character other than Michael Myers or the Phantom to hang up the mask. Maybe I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't realize the pattern.
Our friend who will be starring in Time Bandits. Whatever. Just stick around for the news. Would you? You're all adults.
You have an attention span that goes beyond the first 30 seconds. We trust you to hang around and listen.
Yeah.
Make up your own puns.
Right. Hey, before we do that, though, I did want to once again...
Thank you for your cooperation.
I'm going to say, because Marcus Taylor is not giving up.
Oh, really?
No.
This dude's on a mission.
He's tenacious.
Without a stated reward or prize or bounty. I put out the call 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
For an interview with Harrison Ford, where he praised the Crystal Skull.
Did he find one?
And we raised this question because Harrison Ford recently at D23 praised the upcoming Indiana Jones 5. And at first we thought, well, what did he say about Crystal Skull? Because his credibility could be out the window, shot.
Right.
So Marcus sent in another entry. But yet again, I'm feeling that this isn't quite meeting the standard of praising this film, a completed film that ultimately we saw on screen. I'm going to play you what Marcus sent in as the example of this. It comes from an IGN interview from 2008.
Okay.
And there were lots of scripts floating around, I believe.
Well, there were versions. There were versions, and there were a couple of attempts that weren't fully successful, and then there was a continuous dogged pursuit of the strong parts of the story and an adjustment of the recipe to suit the three of us. And
so, what was it about this one that
it was good? I was ready. It was right.
So him saying it was good is what Marcus is hanging his hat on, saying that Harrison Ford is praising the Crystal Skull.
I need to know something.
Yeah.
I want to know how Marcus feels about the Crystal Skull. It's a sidebar.
I don't know.
It's like, I want to
It
know.
is, yeah.
How...
All right, let's get to the front bar then. Is that quote that I just played definitively Harrison Ford praising the film we know as Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull?
No, not the film. Wasn't he sort of saying the script was good enough? Kind of.
Right! That's right, Kat. He's talking about the script. The interviewer asked him about the script, yeah.
And even so, it's not high praise. Mushmouth Harrison Ford, as he always is. Well, I mean, it was good. He didn't say, this is the best thing I've seen. He's like, it's not shit. Like, he was being barely concealed disdain for it.
It's like when Kat gave me that mixtape. Yeah. Right?
Wow.
She was like, hang on, just so you know. There's a lot of issues with it. And including songs you probably won't like.
Yeah.
and the qualities.
The script for the mixtape, good.
Yes.
Mixtape itself, not so much.
Execution, horrible.
Now I realize I should have named it something Crystal Skull. Yeah.
Oh, something about the Crystal Skull.
Something related to the Crystal Skull. Yeah. We can.
But the interview asks him, how did you arrive at this script? Or he said, I heard there was a number of other scripts. And Harrison Ford says, as you heard, we tossed those out because they weren't, and ultimately arrived the only one we did because it's good.
Than the other ones.
I'm sure there's tons of stories of Hollywood films that had fantastic scripts and didn't, once they got on the screen, from page to screen.
It's not quite high praise. I mean, whether he was talking about the script or not, it wasn't a glowing recommendation of the film.
So I don't want to discourage Marcus, but...
Hey, but good try, Marcus. You've been Will buzzed, Marcus. Enjoy.
Well, we are going to send
It happens to me all the time. You'll get used to
as a
it.
consolation prize, I'm going to send you this mixtape I have.
Oh! Ow!
It's
I would
better
never.
1980s
Kat,
now than
I would never.
never.
Oh, goodness.
I'm just kidding. I'm not sending you that. Or maybe I'll dub it, right? I'll dub it. Can I dub
You
it?
can just take a wild guess what my next blog post is going to be if you do that.
Maybe that's how we go.
I'm going to tell you where you can stick that mixtape.
Press eject. Press eject. All right. All right. Hey, let's get caught up on 1980s news. So this is a story I couldn't come up with something interesting to say about, but the story itself is interesting. As reported by a CBS affiliate in Chicago, how did a family get a Max from Stranger Things Halloween decoration to float? So apparently, I hadn't been aware of this but for the story, but apparently the clip of this has been shown over and over again on TikTok. It's been viewed by millions of people there. But no one knows quite how this feat is possible. For if you haven't seen it, it looks like a real girl dressed in the costume of Sadie Sink's costume as Max on Stranger Things.
Right.
And it's hovering midair. I don't know, what would you say, 10 feet or so in the air, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe,
her
maybe
feet are about 10 foot, and she's above that. Yeah, she's way up there. Yeah.
Now, it's not a real person. It is a mannequin, but it is fairly convincing. But how they have it there hovering over their front lawn remains a mystery.
Yeah.
Dave Appel and his wife Aubrey apparently go big every year for Halloween for decorations. In fact, this year they started on August 1st.
Whoa.
Yep.
Now, I got to tell you guys, I love Halloween. I love it. I do not put a single decoration out in front of my house.
Until the day of, right? Like you usually have something that you've built.
Yes. I guess part of giving out the candy, I have part of my costume where I decorate the porch to look like a pirate ship or whatever. Or something.
Will, are you the guy that puts out a bowl of like toothpaste and toothbrushes and stuff for the kids?
And just a sign. I can't even give it up. I can't.
Everybody else is doing candy. I'm going to make a difference.
Yes.
Take your difference, put it with your mixtape, and put Reese's cups
Here's
out
floss. I have an empty bowl that says "Leave candy here," and another bowl that says "Take a penny." Trying to just get that candy out of the hands of children.
Little revenue, a little opportunity to. I love Halloween too. We used to decorate like big time, and I was the guy that would dig a hole and sit in it like I was a corpse and then jump out and scare kids and all that. And then we moved towns, and I live in what is now a predominantly blue-haired neighborhood.
Okay.
And there are no kids to come. There's to knock on the door, and the neighbors are all kind of like, well, the HOA wouldn't approve of all those headstones.
Yes.
So
And
like,
the whole
you know
digging.
what?
The whole thing.
Yeah, well, I never even got to that point.
Until we had a real corpse in the hole, because one of the blue-haired ladies came by to complain.
I had enough of her. Yeah, the thing with decorating for Halloween is you need to have a big audience to come by and enjoy it.
Yes.
And like the third Halloween that we had 2 trick-or-treaters for all the work we did, we're like, all right, here's a pumpkin. Merry Halloween, whatever.
I don't go big on the decorations, but our neighborhood pretty much gets into trick-or-treat night. And we have a scheduled trick-or-treat night. It's not on Halloween. It's the Friday before.
Oh, I love that.
Really?
It's curious. I'm a fan as well. It's always a Friday night from 6 to 8. It took some getting used to because that's not how they do it in New Jersey, at least not where I came from. And but it's great. And it's like a big party. We all just sit out and I get to admire every single costume, and it's super fun. Yeah.
Now I'd like to go participate in the trunk or treat events. Have you seen those?
Oh,
Those
yeah.
are neat.
We do that.
Yeah. They're like church groups or civic groups or something. Everybody pops their trunk and you hang lights or something goofy, and the kids walk around like a ball field or a park or something and get candy out of the back of people's trunks.
Yeah.
In our neighborhood, it's actually pretty cool. We do it on Halloween. I lived in a neighborhood where we did it, like you said. It was like a Friday it was a Saturday night every Saturday. Or it was on a Saturday closest to Halloween, which is good because now like it's going to be on a Tuesday or something, and the kids are like wired at 9 o'clock at night, can't go to sleep, and then they got to go to school the next morning. But
they're not my kids.
I'm almost there. But in our neighborhood, the adults give out shots and alcohol to the adults that are walking their kids around. Yeah. So
now it's trick or treat.
Yeah. So as you stop by certain homes, they have Jello shots out and.
Oh my God!
Fake blood bags that have alcohol in them.
Or they out front, take just one, and I'm hitting them.
Yes. I had one year. I put like the blood bags in some inside pockets of my coat, and I had the straws in my mouth as I was walking my daughter. Yeah,
sip and stroll. We call that.
But yeah, these folks, I don't know. I've got wow. This makes me. I feel like either I'm not ambitious enough with the things I am passionate about, or. I don't know, whatever. I don't know what to make of this. I guess great for them. It doesn't hurt anybody. It's great to have a passion, I guess, ultimately.
Don't skip the coolest part.
Yeah.
Have you figured out how they have her hanging up there? He has said it's not helium.
Right.
Right. He said it's not helium. He said something else. It's not
a drone.
Yeah.
Not a drone. Not drones, not helium.
Balloons.
Right. Do you have a suspicion? Like he hasn't really said, but I have a theory.
So.
What do you think, Will?
Well, I think on that video that they have on this news agency shows, for 1 split second, you can see there's a wire there.
Oh, okay.
A wire.
All right.
Right. But it's a horizontal wire, right? It's not vertical.
It's like a
not hanging.
clothesline type.
So I'm guessing it's like a 3 or 4 point harness with piano wire from multiple like light poles or something. It's got to be.
Which
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Okay.
Attached like at the head or neck of this dummy so that it hangs straight down.
Yeah.
And it also keeps it centered so it doesn't move around because helium would have that problem, right?
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Yeah, I noticed there wasn't a whole lot of give to it. There was a little bit of wiggle on the legs, but hardly anything.
Hardly any. Yeah. It's
convincing. He did a great job.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I wish I could go drive by. I wish somebody around here would do that. Yeah.
I'd jump up and hang from the legs.
Yeah.
Come down, Max.
Even Netflix has joined in on the fun on Twitter, I believe it was. They posted to the Appels, or in connection with the Appels video, saying, calling the Appels their number one fan for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to compete with that. I love Stranger Things.
I think they win.
All right. In other 1980s news, and as reported by Variety and Vanity Fair and all over everywhere, James Earl Jones retires as Darth Vader, but has taken steps to keep his voice alive. It's kind of, he's just going to have John do it. Or at least the breathing part.
From now on, I've got it. Yeah.
Now, of course, everybody knows, right? Jones first voiced the iconic villain in 1977. With A New Hope, which was just called Star Wars then, while David Prowse appeared on screen in the actual costume. Of course, David Prowse notoriously thought he was voicing Darth Vader.
Right.
He didn't realize he wasn't until he showed up to a screening of the film. And that began his long spiral right out of the good graces of Lucasfilm. But anyway, so James Earl Jones, however, is stepping away. That said, the force is strong with him because this 91-year-old who's been doing it for nearly 50 years has signed off to allow them to use archival voice recordings to recreate his character's voice in future Star Wars productions. And we've already talked about this once before because Lucasfilm has enlisted the help of a company called Respeecher, which is actually a Ukrainian startup that uses AI to essentially, take little snippets of all the archival audio and create new dialogue. It's pretty insane.
It is.
They had used it first with creating the young Luke Skywalker in the Boba Fett series, which in the Mandalorian episodes of the Boba Fett.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, because I don't think they did it at the end of the Mandalorian. I don't think that's how they did it.
No, I think it was the Mandalorian.
Well, at the end of the Mandalorian, Luke shows up, but I don't know if they had used Respeecher then.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think they did a different thing. They had a double or something, or they had Mark Hamill talk just a little higher pitch. I'm Luke. I'm young and full of testosterone. Can't you tell?
I haven't had my car wreck yet, or had my hand cut off.
Yeah, or made out with my sister.
But I will.
But they But they definitely used it for Luke in the Book of Boba Fett. And they also used it in the more recent Obi-Wan Kenobi series when Darth Vader shows up. And I got to say, if you didn't know, you wouldn't know, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
It didn't even occur to me that it wasn't James Earl Jones, right?
Well, it's convincing because it's all those little things. Like I have one of those stupid skills. Like there's lots of things I can't do, but I have this weird skill. Like I can pick out voice talent when I'm watching a cartoon or animation. I'm like, boom, that's such and such, you know? And
I like doing that too. Yeah.
There's like a timbre to his voice. There's the cadence, there's a rhythm, and they've captured all of that. Revoice has done a great job of it. So it's not even fake.
Yeah.
It is his voice.
Yeah.
Just being it's been dehydrated and reconstituted into new words kind of. And so you're getting all those same little inflections and things that your ear, like you don't know you're listening to it, but your brain knows and you can tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really good.
It is.
Adding some real life drama to the on-screen drama of these various Star Wars series.
Yes.
Bogdan Belayev is the 29-year-old speech artist who was tasked at this Ukrainian company with creating these new recordings for Lucasfilm. Again, he's located in Ukraine. And so on February 24th, tragedy struck when Russia invaded his country. As the air sirens were, screaming through the city of... Do you guys know how to say this city name? Lviv? I've heard it different ways, and I remember hearing it the correct way once, and now I don't remember. Look, I'm an American, 100%. So I don't know anything outside of my immediate continental U.S. But anyway, this young artist was hurrying as the threats of bombs and other military action against his country are rolling in here, hurrying to finish the project and send it off to Lucasfilm before God knows what. He doesn't have the ability to do it because he has to flee or worse. And he says, quote, if everything went bad, we would never make these conversions delivered to Skywalker Sound, he says. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, they say, not every hero wears a cape. Is this?
Wow.
Because I'm a super nerd? Is it too much to...
Right?
Anoint
the man who
hero?
saved Vader's voice in the face of war, right? It basically is what it was.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I think he's a notch above John here joining us, and with the threat of
a hurricane's nothing, right?
Yeah.
That'll be gone in 2 days.
Yeah.
Right.
So does that mean that we won't have to record the podcast ourselves soon enough? We can just do a sampling of our voice, give it a script, and it'll just, every Monday we'll listen to see what we said. That'll be cool.
Yeah,
John, that's going to be hilarious and fun to do, right? I mean, if you think when deepfakes started, that technology was sort of, removed. It was, expensive, or it was out of the hands of the layperson. Now I think there's free versions of this kind of software you can download. And if you're a clever enough, person, you could figure out how to use it. Yeah, Respeecher, some kind of democratized version of Respeecher is probably coming. You and I, we have the archival audio necessary to feed this thing. I would love to be able to say to an AI, create, because that's how it would work. It's like, create funny podcast about whatever and just play that every week.
Off it goes.
That would be the most popular show ever, I think.
You have it ingest about, 100 episodes, give it all the archival audio, it indexes everything.
This sounds really unfun.
Next thing you know, a show we've never recorded. Here's Will. Hey, it's the podcast for 1980s. Now you're listening to the show. Dun, 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 dun.
You're listening to 1980s now. Because it takes the vowels from different places.
Stitches them together. Way to go, Will Alexa.
No, this sounds really unfun. How
so? You could listen to it.
Then I wouldn't get to hang out with you guys anymore. There'd be no need.
No, you can hang out with me. I just type in what you want to talk about.
Right. You don't need a mic anymore.
Let's say talk to Kat about Halloween decorations.
Right.
Hey, Kat.
Will, you could say generate creative pun about Max Caulfield, and it would do it for you.
Yes.
Then you wouldn't have to skip it.
That's where it would come in handy.
It would come in handy. If you're stumped, just hit a button that goes, in other news.
If we get that, I'm doing a whole show like that. I am not. I almost didn't record tonight. Those weeks, it would definitely be at least those weeks. Once a month, it'd be robots. We should just do it with whatever is available. It doesn't even have to sound like us. It could just sound like, a robot.
It's the voiceover TikTok lady, right? Whatever. That's crazy.
That's so annoying. That voice.
It is.
It could be the voice of
voiceover.
It could be the voice of Whopper from War Games. Yeah, we play a game.
Welcome back to another episode of 1980s.
They're both nuclear 1980s.
In other 1980s news.
That's pretty good, Will. I like that.
Hey, another 1980s news. 2 bits of casting news per deadline. First up, Lisa Kudrow will lead the cast of Taika Waititi's Time Bandits series. So we don't know a whole lot about this. So obviously, Time Bandits is one of the time traveling films we love. This one's from the 1980s, from 1981. It's from Terry Gilliam. So, it's sort of a high fantasy film about a boy who's dissatisfied with his home conditions, I guess you'd say, who winds up running with these. What is their role? What do they call? They're like they had a job, but they wind up stealing a time map from the quote supreme being and using it to rob riches from various eras, I guess, right?
I got a little stuck on reading that they came out of the boy's closet, and it kind of reminded me of the Hug-a-Bunch from our origin story about the Hug-a-Bunch.
Well, in this one, Kat, if you don't remember this film, unlike the Hug-a-Bunch where they said something about, we were leering at you creepily this whole time, or whatever, there's some kind of line like that, right? They were watching.
Yes, they were.
These guys just come like exploding out. Like it's just a portal happens to be in the closet and they just come out.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're looking immediately like, how do we get out of here?
Okay.
They don't want anything to do with this kid.
I just have trouble with remaking Time Bandits at all.
Yeah.
Even Taika Waititi, he does great stuff. I think he's a jerk, but I think his work is amazing. But like there are other franchises that if you want to pick something that flopped, I guess the point is if it flopped, nobody cares about it, right? Pick something that wasn't great or it has flaws, but Time Bandits is kind of a masterpiece. It's kind of well done as it is.
Got a ton of cameos in there. John Cleese, Shelley Duvall, Catherine Hellman, Ian Holm, Michael Palin, another alum of Monty Python.
Sean Connery? Did I say
Sean Connery? Yeah. That movie, look, there's spoilers for 1981's Time Bandits. I guess if you don't know the film, we really can't talk about this, but the kid ultimately who, gets swept up in it, they make their way to some time, I don't know, wherever Sean Connery lives. It's some sort of like ancient Greece or something like that. I don't remember exactly. But the kid decides he wants to stay with Sean Connery because he's seems like a cool dude and would be a better father to him, right? That's what I remember.
Huh.
And as a kid being like, that's kind of messed up. His parents are just never going to know what happened to their kid. I don't think he ever goes back right at the end. I don't think.
Really? Oh, no.
Maybe he does. Shit.
Well,
now I gotta
You
watch
can
that
stay
movie.
here with me, kid. Yeah, I'm Sean Connery. You can live right here in my little area.
Well,
I
this has been on
promise
my
I
watch
have no
list.
ulterior motives.
Oh, no.
It's not on your watch list?
No, this has been on my watch list.
Is it?
Do you like Terry Gilliam at all, Kat? Do you know?
Wait, what else did he make?
Brazil?
Yeah, Brazil's a big one. Fisher King is more 12.
I remember us talking about Brazil. Oh, Fisher King.
Yeah.
12
saw
monkeys.
Yeah.
12 monkeys? 13 monkeys? 11 monkeys. Am I getting Ocean's 11 mixed up with
some
He's
unspecified
just
amount
going to
of
say them
monkeys.
all and use the one that works in post.
12 monkeys?
12
13
monkeys.
monkeys.
How 2022 is it that, by the way, this article says Lisa Kudrow, from The Comeback. What about Friends? Are you kidding me?
Knows that, yes.
I was
what's
like,
The
wait.
Comeback?
Yeah, I said, wait, isn't she from Friends?
Hasn't
Why
she
are they
done
not
something
pointing that
else we've
out?
seen? Maybe, perhaps.
Yeah, I wonder
Yeah,
if
that's
publicists get
funny.
involved and they're like, look, just make sure you see The Comeback, okay? We're trying to move past that Friends thing.
Right.
She gets a
I
bigger
get
cut.
$45 every time The Comeback shows up in an article next to Lisa Kudrow's name.
It seemed
back
like it's a fresh start. I mean, none of the so they list here a number of actors who I don't recognize. Lisa Kudrow's the other one I know, and they name their characters that they're playing, but tells us nothing about the new show because none of them are character names from the movie. So who knows? All right. Hey, and the other casting news is that Kevin Bacon has joined Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop Axel Foley.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, in the midst of production, they're continuing to grow, with the celebrity power here. Kevin Bacon seems to be popping up on a lot of things lately. We know we're still waiting for him to he's in some successful TV show right now. He just had that horror movie. I don't know how well they did that. They, Them, I think it's called. He's going to be in the new Toxic Avenger. That's supposed to still come out this year. I don't know when, though.
I remember a time when Kevin Bacon being in a movie was not newsworthy.
Right.
Because he was just in every movie. It wasn't like, is he in it? It was like, I wonder what Kevin Bacon's going to be in this movie. Because he was in every big movie from the mid to late 80s, early 90s. He was everywhere.
So more it would be like...
That's how you played the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon game. You do, because he's in everything with everybody.
This just in. Kevin Bacon is not in this movie.
What? I'm not seeing it. That doesn't help my game at all.
And while we reported that the original cast members Judge Reinhold and John Ashton were seen on set, it's also been confirmed that Paul Reiser and Bronson Pinchot will be reprising their characters from the previous installments.
I laughed when I saw that with the Bronson Pinchot.
And Kevin Bacon.
Oh, I just also can't help but think again about him in that awful third movie.
Oh, no.
All right. Hey, whatever. That was 1980s news. Hey, like the show, rate, review it, subscribe, follow something, do something, blah, blah, blah. All right. Hey, on today's show, like I mentioned, so we're going to talk about the best, what are we saying? The best songs from 1980s movies. There you go.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. So, hey, look, soundtracks have been around for a long time. I don't know how long, but we know that, at some point, even Walt Disney himself said, hey, I can make more money if not only do I put movies out, I take the music from those movies, put them on wax, like the kids say, and sell those too.
Yeah.
So not only was, Snow White a big film for Disney, but the soundtrack was as well. So that's taking us back to the 1930s.
Yes.
Look, there's been plenty of soundtracks since, and, there's certainly some that leap to mind. But I would say that something special happened in the 1980s with regard to soundtracks. And not merely nostalgia. It's something that's supported by statistics again, and this time by Billboard, which is what we're going to rely on as we talk about these different songs. So I have a number here somewhere. Where is it? So we're going to be talking about, we're going to be looking at, so thanks to Billboard who did this research. And actually they did this research first, at least as long ago as 2020. But they recently updated, the most recent update to this was in 2022. And I noticed something interesting happened. So in 2020, there was they did the top 50 movie songs. And they explained their, what do they call that? Not their metrics or their system for creating this ranking. And they noted that it's based on actual performance on the weekly Billboard Hot 100 chart. Songs are ranked based on an inverse point system with weeks at number 1 earning the greatest value and weeks at number 100 earning the least. So depending on how far you progressed and how quickly you progressed and what was your ultimate peak, it affects how your ranking is on this top 65.
So these are going to be soundtracks that have pop music in them, right? This is not going to be a list that celebrates the most orchestral pieces because those didn't make the Hot 100 that much. Now, there were a few exceptions.
It's pretty much just all John Williams.
Right.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yes.
Can I share with you my story of the first time I purchased a soundtrack?
Okay.
Oh.
I was very excited. And then later, very disillusioned because love Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm at the store and I'm like, here's Raiders of the Lost Ark on a cassette. Holy crap.
All right.
Soundtrack, that means I can put in my Walkman and listen to the movie. Yeah. And I'm thinking the dialogue, the story. He's fighting the guy by the plane. I'll hear the punches and I hear him get hit.
Suck the plane.
And then it's just like, Marion's theme. La, 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 la. Like, no, this is not what I wanted.
Amazing.
And now after that, once I got over the initial disappointment, I found out I actually really enjoy soundtrack albums because now that I'm not expecting to hear the audio track from the movie, I can't enjoy the music on its own. But I was very disillusioned when I first found out that's what a soundtrack was.
Yeah,
all about dashed expectations.
See, what I thought you were going to say is, I couldn't anticipate what your disappointment was going to be, but I thought you were going to say is you pop it in your Walkman and then you're going on adventures, through your neighborhood. Dun, 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 dun,
and that was disappointing.
Monkey bars. Dun, 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 dun.
I'm like, when does the dialogue start? When do I start to hear them talking? It never happens.
There's a big snake in the plane, Jacques. I hate snakes, Jacques.
Bad dates. Oh, it's good stuff.
Curious to me. So, look, I'm just going to cut to I'm not going to bury the lead here. The 1980s on this list of top 50 songs, as they did it just a few years ago, the 1980s had by far the most with 25 out of the 50. So 50% of them were 1980s.
Yeah.
Good for us.
The 1990s had the second most, and then it's, before and after just sort of drops off. Now, cut to just earlier this year when they updated this list in May, they actually increased the list from 50 to 65. And while some decades get songs now because they weren't really covered at the last time they did this, the first time around, they added 7 more 80s songs. So now the 1980s has 32
Wow.
Good for us.
songs on there out of the 65. So again, it's 50%.
So that stayed consistent, yeah.
So look, we're going to focus mostly on the top 10 of these the 1980s songs among these 65.
What? We can't do all 32?
No. I did want to consider it. I didn't want it to seem like I was blowing off your suggestion entirely. I want to see like I was really weighing it. I really wasn't weighing it. I had the answer locked and loaded, but
No doubt.
But anyway, so just because look, you guys, you know these songs. You know all these songs, I'm pretty sure. Well, do you remember? Did you guys remember these radio contests they would have where you had to call up, or they'd play like a clip of a song and you had to call up, or they do a mashup of songs?
Yeah.
A variation. I remember the one where they would do like 10 songs, like a second of 10 songs.
Yes.
You had to identify all 10.
Yes.
And people would call it and they would list the 10 songs and they would just tell them whether they're right or not, but not which ones they missed.
Right. That's exactly what I mean. All right. So I have that here for the 10 songs we're going to talk about. See if you can name them.
Fail. Those weren't even a second long each. It was like a half second.
They're listed a half a second each. Here, one more time.
Painful.
Now, I know you got at least 3.
I got one.
Yep.
I think.
Do you want me to say or not?
man.
Just I don't know.
You can guess now. I will just tell you if you're right or wrong.
No, I heard Eye of the Tiger in there.
Okay.
What is that song? That song. I heard that whatever that is.
I heard Phil Collins singing Separate Lives.
Oh, wow.
Is that Heaven in Your Eyes? Is that what I'm hearing? Maybe. Might have been that.
I need to hear.
I will just say some are right and some are wrong.
Some are right and some are
All right,
wrong.
I got I got a little bit more and a little bit more content here, or slower, longer clips for you.
Okay.
Do you?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I heard Footloose.
I heard, What a Feeling.
All right, this is what we're going to do. Let's
Does Flashdance? Yeah.
Let's have our chat, and I'll check with you at the end. We're going to touch on all these songs throughout and see if you can name them when we get to the end of this.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
We're talking about that 50% of the songs in the top 65 of the Billboard Hot 100, that 50% of them are from the 1980s. Why is that? What do you guys think? Do you have any theories as to why the 80s would be different than, say, the 70s or the 90s, even those decades that were immediately before and after it?
Well, we've talked all along about how movies themselves became big blockbuster things. Like there's something about the whole, big summer movie thing. It just became a bigger deal to have lots of bells and whistles around a movie. And so I imagine that this would be more effort and expertise was being put into an aspect of a movie, such as the soundtrack.
Yeah. I think you're onto something there.
Okay.
I know. I mean, over on Gen X Grown Up, we spend a lot of time with less expertise and more profanity, analyzing a lot of these same things about the 80s. And the thing that I keep realizing over and over, or at least in my own perception, is that it was starting like in 79, 80 when pop culture was a thing. Like there was pop culture in the 70s, but it wasn't as homogenous. Like there were little pockets of what's popular in your area. But when pop culture started to become like so prevalent, when things like the Ghostbuster, just the logo represents an entire way of life, things like that. And so when pop culture became a prevalent force in entertainment, I think that's when they started like, hey, what else can we do to make this even more pop culture-y? Let's put some cool pop songs in it. Let's have a rock star have a cameo in a film. You never know things like that.
Yep.
And so I think it was more, before that, it was cinema. And now this was popcorn movies for a generation that wanted popcorn movies, and they just kept feeding us what we loved, which was all the crap we loved in a blender. And that's why I think all those pop songs in the 80s started coming into movies. Yeah. My theory.
Yeah, I think one other thing that we haven't talked about that probably was a big help was MTV.
Oh,
so at the beginning of the 1980s, you have this channel launch dedicated to music videos, and so we have this nexus now of music and imagery that we hadn't prior. And folks are making music videos that are little mini movies.
Mini movies.
And then...
Or making their music video using footage from the movie their music was used in because it was cheaper to make the music video that way. By the way, kids, MTV used to play music.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
For you younger listeners.
And then in turn, we talked about this many episodes ago about the rise of the montage in the 1980s, which was, it really rose in the 1980s. It was something that was developed, I think, as a form of propaganda, like in World War II, and started peaking in some different films. But in the 1980s, it really came out. And what essentially those amounted to in 1980s films were mini music videos in movies. So I think MTV may have played a big role in, again, not only, I guess, creating that merger between those two media, but helping these particular songs become more popular because they, not only you hear them on the radio, but you saw them on your TV too.
Right. And it was a very impactful part of the movie. You're hearing this particular song and Yeah, you're right. So maybe the emotional connection you have as a result is stronger, and you're definitely going to be drawn to something you have a passion for.
Right. If you love one and you mix it with the other, and I love peanut butter, it's with chocolate. Maybe I'll like a Reese's, right? Or vice versa. Or if you love both, it's amazing, right? So they start blending those. That's I agree with you. I think all those kind of factors played into it.
Yeah.
So, okay, if I were to ask you, who is the go-to songwriter of the 1980s, who would you pick?
Oh,
you got a movie,
Kenny
you need
Loggins.
a song, who you picking?
Oh my
Kenny
gosh.
Loggins. He's my go-to guy.
Who's your go-to guy? You can have the same go-to guy. That's fine.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, I agree. Kenny Loggins,
yeah.
absolutely. I mean, this is a guy who, had songs in Caddyshack 1 and 2, Top Gun, Footloose.
Yes. Yes.
Over the Top. We talked about that not too long ago.
Yep.
Curiously enough, though, he only ever had one hit in the top 65 songs that we're talking about here with Footloose.
Oh, okay.
Whereas there was another artist, another musician who had 3 hit songs in the top 65.
Wait, are you telling me Danger Zone never made the top 65?
Well, it didn't make this top 65.
Didn't make that.
But I will say this about
All
it, because I didn't look too close into Danger Zone. This top 65 is the most successful songs of the 1980s for movies. So while it might have been a hit, maybe it was in the top 10, maybe it was even one at one point. It wasn't
maybe
as
didn't
one.
last.
It wasn't as number one as these.
Yeah.
As number one.
So
as number one.
But
so somebody else had more success.
3 songs by Phil Collins are in the top 65.
I was going to say, is it Phil Collins? Okay, that was going to be my next guess.
All right, Kat.
All
So
right.
among that, Kat, then you probably can guess the 3 songs. What do you think?
Okay. Well, one of them is definitely Separate Lives.
Oh, ding.
Now, is that How Can You Just Let Me? Nope, sorry. Never mind. Scratch that. Sorry.
There's that one.
Oh, damn it.
Wait, I got to hear it in my head.
Play things to confuse her.
Like noises. Just do arpeggios. Da 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 da.
Oh, I lost it.
Kat, I'm going to give you a clue as to what the other songs are, okay?
Oh, I could use a clue.
There, it was in there somewhere. All right.
That's better. Welcome to Hurdle from Hell.
We were looking for 2 Hearts and Against All Odds.
Against All Odds. That's the
that's
one
the one
that I
I
was
was
trying to follow and I couldn't.
Yeah. 2 Hearts I can hear. Against All Odds I wouldn't have pulled.
I realized I should be introducing these as games, so we just have a ridiculous amount of games this show. So let's see. The first thing I said, once again, it's time to play.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Whatever that is. Name the top 10 something or other. Okay.
I would love that if there was more than one.
Oh, that's what I'm gonna edit this way. Okay, once again, it's time to play whatever that clip was. So what I've got for you here is all right, whatever. Okay, once again, speaking of, so do you guys remember what movie 2 Hearts came from?
That's the 2 hearts living in just one
mind.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Did I see
no.
it? It had to be a love story.
Well, since the fact that you don't remember reminds me that once again, it's time to play.
Listen, you smell something?
All right, there's another game for you. All right, so I've got 5 movies for you, or 5 songs here for you.
Okay.
That again are in this top 65. You tell me what movie they're in.
Okay.
The first one, 2 Hearts.
I think we just established we don't know that one.
That's in a film called Buster, which actually also starred Phil Collins. I think he plays
Phil Collins.
Starts a British
never saw it.
bank robber or something like that.
Yeah. Does he wear like a pork pie hat in the poster?
Yeah, that's right. All you remember is the hat.
I named a puppy Buster after that film, even though I hadn't seen it, because it was Phil Collins with a pork pie hat.
Oh my goodness.
That's amazing.
Never seen the film though.
How about the song by Prince, Kiss? What movie is that in? Prince, come on. Kiss.
Well, I mean, is that in Purple Rain?
No, it's the other one.
Oh No. Oh,
Under the Cherry Moon.
Cherry Moon. Okay.
All right, how about I just called to say I love you?
Oh my gosh.
Was it Buster? No, it wasn't Buster.
Boy.
All right, that was in
Who was it in?
The Woman in Red.
Oh, okay.
Remember that film with Gene Wilder and Kelly
Yes.
LeBrock?
Nope.
Yes.
It's funny. I named a puppy The Woman in Red after that film, yet I never saw it. It was a white puppy. Made no sense.
You know what's weird about that movie is Gene Wilder starred in that movie and he wrote that movie, maybe even directed. I don't think he directed it, but he wrote it. And it's about a man who's like, got the 7-year itch and is, he sees Kelly LeBrock and I don't know if he actually consummates their affair, but I think so. He has an affair with her. I know there's a scene with them in bed and she's getting dressed and she's naked. So maybe they suggest he did. Cause he's, sick of his wife. His actual wife, Gilda Radner, is in the film. I think she may even play his wife in that movie. Isn't that like,
wow.
I mean, if I did that, my wife would have questions. A lot of questions.
Right. What inspired you to write this script, Gene?
Yeah. Why did you cast Kelly LeBrock as that woman and not me? You're going after.
I
Maybe
mean,
it was her idea. Gilda Radner.
look at her,
Pretty
Gilda.
wacky.
Just look at her.
Oh, gosh. All right. How about the song
And that
Separate
was the end of
Lives
that.
by Phil Collins and Marilyn Hart? What film
I
is that
totally
in?
know what that's from.
Okay, what
Oh,
song?
thank goodness one of us knows
Which
one.
one?
Go, Cat.
White Nights.
That's right.
Yay.
How about the song Say You, Say Me by Lionel Richie?
John.
I have no idea. No.
That's also in White
This is-
Nights.
This is the worst game. That was a trick question.
It's not a trick. John's always saying trick questions. It's not a trick
is a trick
question.
question.
It's the actual answer.
Funny thing, I named a puppy
mortifying.
White Nights.
You got a lot of dogs, man.
Oh, man.
It was a red dog.
You got to send the authorities over there. He's got a puppy mouth. All right. Anyway, so
Mortifying.
we talked about this legendary songwriter, composer, singer, performer, Kenny Loggins, right? Just a fantastic guy, so iconic, so associated with not only the 1980s, but 1980s films.
But apparently Phil Collins even more.
I disagree.
Yeah.
But, Billboard, have your way, whatever you want.
In spite of Kenny Loggins' talent in the various songs that we know from all these films, and one of which is in the top 65, only one, he didn't write all the songs that he's most associated with. So,
Okay.
and that's true for many of the songs that, that are on this list. So, once again, it's time to play as if we didn't just play a game. John loves these games, by the way. You could just tell he loves
I do.
He loves
I do.
them.
Can we do toy shopping again? I was
Yes.
good at that one.
See how I got to mix it up, right? Hey,
Right.
look, I've got five. This is a quick one. I've got 5 songs for you here. I want you to tell me which one was actually written by the performer that sings it.
Okay.
Okay.
Kenny Loggins,
So
Danger Zone.
So one of them?
Only one of them.
was, you're
Danger
saying.
Zone.
Okay.
by
All right.
Kenny Loggins.
Okay.
Nothing's Gonna Stop Us. Starship. Don't You Forget About Me. Simple Minds. Eye of the Tiger. Survivor. Or Wind Beneath My Wings. Bette Midler. Which one was actually written by the person singing it? Because the others weren't.
I think it was number 2. What was number 2? Starship.
Nothing's Gonna Stop Us by Starship.
Really? I have a different vote.
Okay.
I'm going to guess the Simple Minds track. And
Okay.
I have a reason for that, and it's
Okay.
not based on knowledge. It's based on logic.
A
and
dog?
reasoning.
A dog you have?
No.
Based on a dog.
No.
You're both wrong.
Oh, phooey.
All right.
I knew
Great.
John was wrong, but I didn't know I was wrong.
I knew John. Well, everyone knew John was wrong before the show began.
Because his lips were moving. Oh, Cat, that's awful. No, it's
Says the guy who's disrespecting your mixtape.
is that? No, I love her mixtape. That's why I'm making copies and giving it to other people.
Oh, wait, what?
That's why you're
I was giving it to
away.
Marcus. I said earlier, didn't I? A copy of it though.
Ah,
And I can't imagine what a second generation of a tape called 12 Distressing Skips will sound like. It probably only gets better, right? I
The
kid
speed
because I
changes.
love.
It gets more warbly.
No, the actual answer is Survivor, Eye of the Tiger.
Oh, I thought that they did not.
No,
write
they did
that.
wite it. Yeah. So
Oh
Clearly.
my god!
yeah, originally for Eye of the Tiger, Stallone wanted to use Queen's Another One Bites the Dust.
Okay.
But Jim Paterick and Frankie Sullivan, who are the co-founders of Survivor and also the keyboardist and guitarist, and I think they both played some other instruments as well.
Sure.
were asked by Stallone to write a song for his film after Queen rejected Stallone's bid to use "No One Bites the Dust."
Okay.
The way Jim Petterick explains it, he came home one day to his answering machine to find a message that said like, "Hey, yo, Jim, quite an answering machine you got there. It's Sylvester Stallone. Call me back."
It's a shame if something happened to it.
Look, the first part, what I said, the "hey yo," I wish I had the code written down. That's true. He really did leave a message. At least that's the way Jim tells the story. Maybe he didn't say that. No. Maybe he was really like, "Mr. Patrick, this is Sylvester Stallone calling in my natural voice." I mean, who knows? But anyway, so once he realized it really was just Sylvester Stallone, and they agreed to make this deal, they received a tape of a montage from Eye of the Tiger, which shows Mr. T sort of rising up as, you know, Rocky Balboa is softening because he's doing commercials and he's sort of selling out. And there's a part of it where their punches are being thrown. And Jim says Petterick says he put his Les Paul around his neck, and as he's watching it, he just banged out those chords in sync with the punches. That iconic.
Gosh, that's cool.
And they didn't know what the rest of the movie was. But after they had created that, they got another tape with the entire film. And there is a scene there where Burgess Meredith, you know, plays the trainer, says, "Rocky, you're losing the Eye of the Tiger." And according to Petterick, boom, they had their hook.
There it is. That's so cool.
Rock, you're a bum.
Yeah.
Get back in the gym.
Yeah, the other songs weren't written by the artists. And in fact, Don't You Forget About Me, the one that John had suggested, was written by Keith Forsey and Steve Schiff. They wrote it for the film, and then they approached a number of different artists, established artists, to sing it. Billy Idol passed, Brian Ferry, and the Fix's Cy Kernan didn't want to record it. And the Scottish band Simple Minds also passed on it.
That's what I was reading about. Yes, initially they were like, "Nope, we don't sing songs that we don't write."
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I thought Simple Minds, because I thought like I equate them with like creative integrity, and I'm like, oh, they write all their stuff. I think it's got to be. So I didn't know. So I didn't know the story that you obviously know, Kat. Well done.
Yeah, their label A&M just kept insisting, "You got to do this," and so finally,
good for you.
They conceded. And they felt good about conceding because they thought no one's ever going to see this little film.
Right.
The Breakfast Club. I should mention the film there.
The little movie. Yeah, the little.
No one's ever going to see The Breakfast Club. And of course, it's their biggest hit to date. I'm certain of it.
Yes. Yep. Irony.
Right. The publicist says, "I told you so" every time he cuts them a check.
Yeah. You know, okay, so look, I don't have this as a game. You're probably glad for that. Thinking about,
I don't want to do it if it's not a game.
Well, this is a question, and I think Kat might be able to get this one only because Kat and I have talked about this person a number of times. And John, I don't know that you and I have ever spoken about him. But thinking about how Kenny Loggins, you know, again, this amazing songwriter, didn't write all of his songs, including, as I mentioned, The Danger Zone. Well, who did? Well, I'm going to give you a clue. It's a person who's written a number of pop songs from films throughout the 1980s and is also regarded as the father of disco.
Did Nile Rodgers?
Oh, no.
What?
You're close. It's the other one.
The other one?
Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers. Yes. Very good, John. See, I knew John would know it.
Okay, that's amazing.
It's not Kenny Rogers.
It's not.
No, it's not Kenny Rogers.
It's just the other Rogers. Yes,
it's the other father of disco. All right, Kat doesn't know. That's fine.
Father of disco.
The only father. This guy is credited with creating, you know, disco and everything that came out of it. Techno, high energy. Here's a clue. Italo disco.
Oh, Giorgio Moroder.
That's right.
Giorgio Moroder. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna smack my forehead. It took me that long to get there.
Yeah, Moroder collaborated with his.
Now I know that. It's like that information was right there. It was thank you.
It was on. She couldn't find the index card, but now she's got it. Yeah.
You do feel like that, right? Like your brain sort of rifles. What is that? Where is that?
Yep. I know it's in here. Where did I put that?
Yeah, Moroder, for Top Gun, Moroder collaborated with his protege, Harold Faltermeyer, for the score and also to write some of the songs, including the Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone. Moroder also wrote Berlin's Take My Breath Away.
Okay.
I can hear that.
But in addition to that, he wrote the Flashdance theme, What a Feeling, for Michael Cimbello.
Right. Right.
With Limahl, the former lead singer of Kajagoogoo, he co-wrote The Never-Ending Story.
Wow. I don't think I knew he was involved in that one.
And then he also wrote, yeah, Kat, you knew about Kenny Rogers, or you didn't know about Kenny Rogers. Got a lot of false information.
It was the other guy.
He also wrote one of Logan's other lesser appreciated hits. Was it a hit? I don't know. Meet Me Halfway from Over the Top.
From Over the Top.
Oh, yes.
That was Giorgio Moroder.
Across the Sky.
Yeah.
Wow. He was all over.
They have a successful collaboration, those guys.
Yeah.
Well, Moroder has a successful collaboration with everyone, apparently, that he works with. So maybe he's the common denominator.
Yeah. So, we talked about Against All Odds. I'm trying to remember now. I don't have all the information I wanted, but I'm going to try to remember something. But, the other aspect.
It's time to play.
So, yeah,
Will tries to remember shit.
Do I have it? Wait, I didn't remember it.
Oh.
Right. So you think about how not all these artists wrote the songs that they're maybe most well known for, including Simple Minds. We also have some songs that were written by the artists, but not for the movie originally.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
What comes to mind immediately
I feel like that's pretty common.
What comes to mind? Well, in the 80s, starting with Kenny Loggins, he believed he was the first, where they would approach a musician and say, here's what the film's about, or here's the script, or here's a clip.
Yeah.
Write something for it.
Yeah. Like, I feel that was always a James Bond theme thing. Like, it was prestigious to get the title song for a James Bond film, but I don't remember tons of films doing that until the Waterfall started. Like
right.
You said.
That's a good example. Yeah. Yeah. Right. With Bond. Yeah, probably most of those songs were written for the films, right? Yeah. Was Goldfinger written for Goldfinger? Just kidding. Or was it written for For Your Eyes Only? I don't know. What immediately springs to mind for me is St. Elmo's Fire, which is also one of these songs on this top 65 songs from movies as ranked by Billboard Hot 100. Do you remember the parenthetical name of St. Elmo's Fire?
No, but I remember the parentheses.
Yes.
When you say it, I'm going to be like,
of course.
That's it. Right? Yeah.
And the actual, the parenthetical is in the song, the thing he says for the most part. I don't know the words. I just know this one word.
Man in Motion?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Not a game, but you get a sound.
No points, Kat. Not a game.
John Parr, who sings the song along with David Foster, originally wrote this anthem about getting older and facing hardship for a paralyzed athlete, Rick Hansen, who had circled the world in a wheelchair in what was called the Man in Motion Tour.
Wow.
I see.
Yes, that's ringing a bell. Yeah.
Similarly, when it came time to need a song for Against All Odds, they approached Phil Collins and said, would you write a song? And he said, let me see what I have already.
Look at this one.
And he gave them the song, Take a Look at Me Now.
Okay.
Which is also the parenthetical for the name of the song. No, it is the parenthetical. That's what I'm saying.
Wait. That's the parenthetical.
It's Against All Odds. Take a look at me now in parentheses.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
I see.
Because that's the song
I thought we
he
were
wrote.
supposed to answer a question.
I'm sorry. Let me say that again.
We thought it was a game again.
I'll say it as a question. Do you remember the parenthetical for Against All Odds?
Is it Take a Look at Me Now?
That's right.
Dun, dun.
Well, that's the actual original Phil Collins song that he wrote.
Oh, wow.
All right, so that's all I got for you today. So look, among those, it is long enough.
Wait, it's time to play.
It is long enough. So look, what we haven't said though is what was the top 10 80 songs among this 65. So when we parse out the 60 or parse out the 80s from this 65 list, these are the toppest, 10est, mostest.
This is the hurdle challenge.
Now you tell me, is this too fast for you? All right, look, I've got a much.
At least I heard Eye of the Tiger.
I've got a slightly easier version here. Okay, here you go.
I have a list going of what I've heard.
Well, here's a more reasonable. Let's not have the fun's over. Let's be serious now. Here's a more reasonable paced one.
I've had fun all along.
Will you stop that? I'm trying to get the first one.
It's only on the first one. All right, I'll tell you what.
I got it.
Name anyone, and I'll mark them off if you got it.
I got it. Okay, I have a little list going.
All right, what do you got?
Okay.
What do you got? Let's get out of the show already. Come on.
We had Eye of the Tiger was in there.
All right, Footloose was in there. Yep.
Footloose was the first one.
Yep.
Hungry Eyes?
Hungry Eyes is not on there, no.
No? Oh, I misheard something. Okay. Okay, and you
was Heaven in Your Eyes in there? It sounded like Heaven in Your Eyes. No?
No, I don't even know what song that is, Heaven in Your Eyes.
No.
It's not in there.
Heaven in Your
no.
Eyes? Yeah. Really? Okay. I thought I heard it.
Yep.
Separate Lives is in there. I heard that.
Separate Lives is in there, yep.
I heard Kiss.
Kiss is not in there.
No?
No.
Wait, but Prince is... Oh, no.
You're just getting the wrong song.
Oh, it's When Doves Cry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Aha.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you meant Kiss the Guys with face paint.
Yeah.
Nice. I heard What a Feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Against All Odds. Two Hearts. Is that in there?
No.
No?
There's 5. There's 5 you haven't mentioned.
Man, you've got an ear, Cat. Okay, now just play a montage of the 5 we've missed.
I'll play it and then I'll say this one, that one. Ready?
Again, and I'll get stuck.
That one.
See, that's what I thought was Hungry Eyes. That doom.
I know that. Dun, dun, dun,
It's
dun,
Crazy
about to
for
go into
You by
Hungry Eyes.
Madonna.
Oh,
From Vision
I hear
Quest.
It now, okay.
I disagree.
You also did. I think I paused it, so maybe this is the other one you didn't get. One of the other ones. Say that one.
Oh.
I don't think you can get it from that. That's Arthur's theme, The Best You Can Do, Christopher Cross.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I probably would never gotten there.
Oh.
That's the one I thought was Heaven in Your Eyes, but it's not. So
no.
Wait, can you do it again? I can't.
Say You Say Me by Lionel Richie.
Oh, and we even talked about
And the one after that is Call Me by Blondie. The only one you haven't left then is the very first one, which is the last one. Yep.
Well, it's a ballad, clearly.
Yes, you're right. It's Endless Love by Diana Ross and Lionel Richie.
Oh,
oh, I've got it. Is it Endless Love?
You got them all right. Every single answer of every question you got right tonight.
Now, depending on how you edit that, people will think I got one. That'd be great.
That'll balance out the other stuff.
Kat, you've got quite an ear. Wow. I'm impressed.
Thanks.
So yeah, the top 10 for the 80s, because I don't know how that came out, was Footloose is number 10 and on our list out of the 65. Separate Lives, Crazy for You, Arthur's Theme, When Doves Cry, Say You Say Me, Call Me, Flashdance, Eye of the Tiger, and Endless Love.
Wow. So Endless Love was number 1?
Yeah, it would. Yes, because it also spent 9 weeks at number 1. So it spent the most weeks at number 1, and I guess was, I don't know, they're the soonest.
So you're saying this is throughout the course of all of the 80s, from like 83, 89.
Right.
Is that what you're saying? Yep. Yeah, all.
That's
of the
my
80s.
understanding.
Okay.
Yeah, or maybe the entire time they've ever been on the Hot 100. Yeah.
Okay.
Curiously, this was Lionel Richie and Diana Ross's biggest hit. You would have thought they would have maybe had something before or since, but no, that was the one.
Wow.
All right. Hey, that's enough
if
of
it's that big, it's it's tough to beat if it's got that much star power behind it. It was in a film.
Yes.
I get it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. I feel humbled. You know a lot more about music than I do, Kat. I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed.
Don't feel humble, John, because
you won all the games.
all 17 games.
It's time to play.
In fact,
Kat wins again.
That reminds me.
Wait, you have another one.
It's
John, one of my favorite things about this are the games. But you, John, know everything else about everything that I don't. Like music, I can do pretty well at, but you're everywhere else.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when it's time to play more shit John doesn't know. That's next week. Be sure you're here for that.
Can't wait to hear the questions.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, our show is brought to you every week. Thanks in part to our early adopters like Kathy Burke, Rick Parker, and Karen Flieger.
Thanks, guys.
Yes. And also thank you especially to our Secret of Our Success Level Patreon supporters, John Henderson. I have an exclamation point after that.
Because John Henderson.
John Henderson. I try not to say it exactly like you because only you can say it like that. But I try to emphasize it somehow. Oh, Craig Coletta, John Kaminsky, Marcus Taylor, our very persistent patron, and Tony Great.
Yes.
What a cavalcade of amazing human beings, symbols in one list.
I'll just say, as a result of them, we're all winners. So there you go.
Except me.
Hey, we will talk to you again next time on 1980s Now.
Until next time.
Bye-bye.
This podcast is part of the 80s Ruled Network. Visit the 80s Ruled on Facebook for more 1980s awesomeness.